Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, race fans from around the globe, welcome in live at the roller coaster that is Mid-Ohio. We're going to have speed, attrition, survival, two different classes racing at separate times. There's absolutely no room for error here. Welcome in to both Sam Studio Network as well as the Israel iRacing League, ILAKA YouTube channel. My name is Sean Stam. I'm going to be producing, directing, giving you all the sights and sounds of the racetrack here tonight for our championship round. Can you believe we are already here, already at the end of the season for our LMP3 series? Before we get kicked off here and qualifying is continuing to finish up, let's take a look at those ever so important points coming into the last race of the season. There you see Ignacio Glumsher there, leading in silver category, but not by many points over Rodem Katz. Also, Rodem Lev, he was up in this fight within earlier in the season. Unfortunately, drops now down to 160 points in the championship standings. Idotel right there in fourth. Bertie Galili, Itzik Grossman, Liron Shooter, Matvey Merriman, Ofer Mazuz, Erzat Rafael, rounding out that top 11 in the silver category points. Welcome in here once again to Stam Studio Network as well as the ILAKA Esports and Karting YouTube channels. We're going to bring you some action, two different classes racing today, and we don't have the qualifying results up just yet, but we do have our practice results. This is going to be have a great look at our speed here tonight and who's coming with some speed and quite possibly who needs just a little bit to work with there. We see Itzik Grossman, Ignacio Glumsher, Rodem Lev, Rodem Katz, that top four in the practice standings. Ido Tal, Liron Shooter, Tomer Matvey, Erza Mini Land, and Ofek Drabinski there rounding out that top 11 for our practice results. Taking a look at our track today, it may look easy here on the track, Matt, believe me. It's really not. This track, it's like it was built by a drunken roller coaster designer. I don't know what this man was thinking. We got some elevation changes. We got really high or pretty okay temperatures here tonight, 43 degrees Celsius temp. Sitting at an altitude of 414 meters, track length 3.56 kilometers, 13 different turns here tonight from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Going to bring you some championship racing here in just a few moments' time as we actually have one more driver out on track as qualifying is finishing up here. This is Erza Rafael right now showing at P9 in the timing and scoring. As Erza Rafael disappears from our eyes here, that means qualifying has finished up and we will get these LMP3s gridded up in just a few moments' time. Before we do that, hey, I'd like to shout out our sponsors and affiliates here tonight that makes this all possible for us. DRS, Drive and Ride Simulations, GRIIP, if you're looking for any extra grip as far as wearables in the sim racing world goes. Well, as SSN here, if you're newer here to Stam Studio Network, it is once again just me here behind the scenes directing, producing, and commentating, but I will bring you all the action live from these two different classes. We're going to have silver first and then gold take to the track. Two different heat races, about 20 minutes each. Let's take a look at our starting grid here today, brought to you by racetostopsuicide.com. Check on those around you, not even just a hey, how's it going, man? Really, check on those around you and make sure everyone is doing okay. Take a look at our starting grid here. Ignacio Glumscher going to slap it there on the pole. Liron Shooter there going to be right there beside him. Itzik Grossman, Rodem Lev, Rodem Katz, Ido Tal, Matvey Merman, Mini Land, Erza Rafael Tomir, and Ofek Drabinski rounding out once again our 11 driver field here tonight. We got a full formation lap about to take place. Let's take a look at some paint schemes we're going to see on the field tonight. All right, apologies for that slight delay. Should see quite a few IIL as well as ILAKA Esports and karting paint schemes. We already see some blues starting to show their way up and through the field here at Mid-Ohio. Once again, if you're just now joining us, thank you for joining here on IIL as well as STAM Studio Network. We're going to have 2 different racing classes here tonight live from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. 13 turns, 3.5 kilometers of pure chaos. What's really going to be chaotic here is heading into turns 1 and that keyhole turn 2 on these cooler tire temperatures, cooler brakes, as well as lower tire pressures. These prototype machines, it takes quite a few laps for them to get up into race speed. Let me know who you have down there in live YouTube chat below. We see you joining in right now. Only 2 live viewers, but streaming it to 2 different YouTube channels. We will get that. If you're looking to show me your race pick, be sure you come in here live on the STAM Studio Network live chat. That's where we are hanging out. Matvey Merman here. He's done quite a bit of help here behind the scenes. And Matvey, just real quick, I appreciate what you have done for us, and best of luck here to you tonight for you in your championship run. Alrighty, we are cresting up and down the hill. We got quite a few different key sections here tonight from Mid-Ohio. Of course, I mentioned that turn 1 and the keyhole that makes a pretty much a hairpin of turn 2. Going up and through the S's. Once again, the elevation changes that was built by a drunken roller coaster designer. What are we doing here, boys? We will make it work. Thunder Valley to complete turns 10, 11, 12, and 13. As a matter of fact, I believe we're making our way through it here. And Ignacio Glumscher, who has had the field quite behind him, quite frankly, this whole season, he will be starting in that captain seat here tonight as that iRacing safety pace car makes their way into pit lane. Here we go, Ignacio with a really nice run. Green flag is out here tonight for our championship run. Heat race 1 of 2 in Silver Series. Here we go. We are racing. We are already looking a single file. Nice cordial start here for the Silver Series. Ignacio starting to run away with it already. 0.7 second gap gained. Here comes some side-by-side action. That's Rodem Katz and Ido Tal starting to look side-by-side. Rodem Katz loses the spot, able to fall back to P6 without losing any more positions. Here comes Matvey Merman as well as Mini Land. Also right there, 7th and 8th. Battle for P2 starting to heat up in class. Oh, that was a send gone wide there for Rodem Katz as he now has to concede the spot to that red and black paint scheme. That's Ido Tal. Ido now works his way up 1 spot since the drop of the green. Here's some more side-by-side racing action. Matvey Merman, Mini Land, we're going at it, able to single file this puppy back out. Our leader, Ignacio Glumscher, looking at a 1 second gap now. Here comes battle for P2, once again starting to heat up. Liron Shooter, Itzik Grossman, 34 versus 1, right where they started this race. Here's a Rafael already gone around. We'll take a look at the quick replay of it here and see how Rafael went around here on our opening lap here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Once again, brakes and tires as well as pressures not all up to temp. That's going to be, a self-induced spin for Erza hard into that tire barrier. Unfortunate for Erza, looks like he is down and into the pits. Here we go, back again up into the battle of what is P2 here on track. Shooter leading Grossman for that second spot. Glumscher in the lead of the overall race. Here comes Rodem Lev and Ido Tal starting to look for 4th and 5th as this battle starts to heat up just a little bit more between Liron and Itzik here. Let me know it down there in the YouTube land below if everything is sounding okay, if everything is looking okay. If not, I am more than happy to help you guys out. And with this championship run here today, once again in those point standings, Ignacio was leading coming into the race. Right now he's pulling that 2-second gap. Oh, got a little loose there out of Itzik Grossman, able to whoa and slow down that LMP3 prototype machine. Rodem Lev and Ido Tal starting to heat up for 4th and 5th. Hopping on board with Ido Tal here, and there's really not much you can do once you get in the dirty air, the dirty wake of this prototype here in front of you. As you see, Ignacio Glumser putting down fastest lap of the race, 1:18.7. The dirtier air that you get in, a little bit further in the back of the pack, you see the lap time just starting to drop off. That slipstream definitely will help you in the longer, straighter portions here at Mid-Ohio, but it's going to help with, it's going to tremendously hurt you within the tighter sections, especially that keyhole. And as our leader makes their way down into Thunder Valley now, hopping on once again with this battle for P2. Here's Liron Shooter. Appreciate you uploading that driver pick to the SDK driver information database. Gives us a little bit more to talk here on the broadcast booth. As man, Shooter is starting to have to play some immaculate defense to keep this spot over Itzik Grossman. We'll hop on our diffuser cam for Liron. I love this cam because it gets us just as close as the track as we can get here, and you can start to see the different braking lines, the racing lines that these Silver Series drivers are able to put in. Here we see Itzik Grossman able to close that gap ever so slightly. What was half a second back, now down to, oh, he smacks the curb right there, and you see what distance that is going to lose Mr. Grossman over our P2 running spots. Keep it up, though, Itzik, as that is our final driver interview spot in heat race number 1. Ido Tal continuing to reel in a Rodem Lev for that P4 spot, as that gap is now cut down to just over half of a second. Glumser with an immaculate run throughout this whole season. Start to look with a 3.2 second gap over P2, that being Liron Shooter. Liron is still with quite a bit of a gap here over Itzik Grossman for the P3 spot, P2, but it is only half a second and well, ever so slightly growing as we'll take a look at the sector differential between Liron and Itzik. It is a game of cat and mouse right now between these LMP3 drivers. Sector 1, that was Liron showing just a little faster. Sector 2, Grossman starting to close the gap, and there we go, right back to showing at Liron a little bit faster in Sector 3. There are two battles that have started to heat up since the drop of the green flag here tonight. We're looking at the other battle as we were just looking at Liron and Itzik. Here's Rodem Lev and Ido Tal. This is, you could quite frankly throw a blanket over 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th as we go to our aerial shots here. You can start to see just how close Ido is able to reel in Rodem Lev into the braking zones, but then Rodem is able to get just quite a little bit more of a run out of the corners. Once again, our diffuser camera here on board with Mr. Lev, and well, now Ido Tal is definitely within the slipstream range on our long straightaway here from Mid-Ohio. But remember, coming into Thunder Valley, you're going to have to start to deal with some dirtier air washed in front of and across the nose of your LMP3 machine. Right now, Ido's saying, well, dirty air or not, I'm still going to try and take the spots. 1 through 4 are still the exact same from the drop of the green flag. Ido Tal, who we're looking at here, is up 1 spot. Rodem Lev right behind him is minus 1 spot since that drop of the green. Bay Merriman here is also having himself a really nice run back to where he started this race in P7. Unfortunately, there won't be any top 10 inversion after this first heat race for silver, but we will have that top 10 inversion in the golds class. It's going to be even on the same broadcast. Be sure you stick right around and stick with us here on STAM Studio Network right after the second heat race. Hopefully, we'll bring you some Silver Series driver interviews from our second heat, as well as, man, this battle for P4 continuing to heat up. And if Rodem Lev and Ido Tal start to get a little side-by-side action here, don't count out other Rodem Rodham Katz right there for P6. These drivers right there with each other within those point standings. And hey, if you're just now joining us, that's okay. We're going to take a real quick look at those point standings. Flash them up here on your screen here. Rodham Katz is in P2, but just, well, I say just barely. Looks like he should have that spot solidified over Rodham Lev if Rodham just doesn't finish last place here. Still on track. I'm showing Rodham Lev 4th, and then Katz P6. Of course, our race leader, of course, the points leader, Ignacio Glumsher, showing 4-second gap here out on track. Speaking of Glumsher, here we see here the driver of the number 2 LMP3 machine. He's got it showing P1 right now. We'll start P1 if he's able to keep this up for just 12 more minutes to complete our heat race number 1. That's something a little bit helpful up in the top left of your screen. Actually, a lap counter as well. Not quite halfway within this 20 minutes race, but we're slowly inching to it here. Itzik Grossman, he just can't get the spot over at Liron for P2. We're going to hop on board with Itzik here and try and kind of decipher these two different racing lines from our P2 driver Shooter and P3 driver Grossman in Silver Series. All right, well, I said racing lines. We're going to decipher it all here. That was a little bit deeper into the braking zone, as well as, oh, you see Liron able to miss that rumble strip there and really carry the speed up and through Thunder Valley. So we're on board with Itzik here. Once again, that LMP3 machine is really taken to the rumble strips. You're seeing it once again, and is that possibly just enough to retain that gap for P2 for Liron here? As right as I mentioned that, here we go. Once again, right within that slipstream range is Itzik Grossman. Still not able to close that gap. I was trying to get to halfway here for you guys, but man, you've stuck around with, what, 3-4 seasons here in the IIL, ILAKA Esports, and karting iRacing series. I'm going to treat you guys real quick to a crank it up. Enjoy the sights and sounds of the racetrack as, well, we're actually starting to close this gap. We may even look side by side here. Okay. I'm going to hold off on the crank it up here just a few moments time because Itzik Grossman off of our front bumper camera here. He is closing that gap ever so slightly. He's got within 0.2 of a second between him and our P2 driver, number 34, Liron. Here we go. He's going to try and make Liron look in his rear view camera there. That is not enough room to make a dive bomb work. Many lands actually gone around here on the track real quick. Before we get back to our battle for P2 and that ever so promised crank it up, here is a replay of Minnie's incident. Of course, Stam Studio Network bringing you guys this replay here. And oh, that's just, I mentioned the rumble strips here. These LMP3 machines are so close to the racetrack. He's backs it into the wall. You just get them off the racetrack just a little bit or get that diffuser to bottom out on the racing surface or even the rumble strips. It will send you right around. Here we go once again for a battle for P2. I'm going to treat you guys to a quick crank it up. Enjoy the sights and sounds of Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. I'll be right back with you up in the booth. Pretty good. Crank your TVs or phones, whatever you happen to be watching on here tonight. Crank it back down. Sean Stam is back up with you here in the booth, and during our quick crank it up here, we had quite a few incidents. Drivers who have gone off track actually mini land. So much damage he actually has to pull his car down and into the pit lane. Ofek Drabinski also has gone on and off back on track as he is working P9 at the moment. Our closest battle, we're still looking at it. We haven't even missed anything from it during our crank it up, as seeing those down here, as well as the onboard camera shots for our drivers here in the IIL, ILAKA Esports and Karting Series. Our championship run here tonight, and that being it is our championship run. I really wonder, I did not check before the broadcast, do we have any driver cams here tonight? Unfortunately, not looking like it, but hey, stick with us for the Gold Series race. And I know we'll have Yuval there and some Rand Sony action in those live driver cams. Right now, we're going to keep things all virtual and back to our battle for P2. Liron Shooter, Itzik Grossman still battling, and 0.3 of a second separating these two drivers. It just takes a tiny slip up, especially with these extreme elevation changes here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Once again, the championship run here tonight. It looks like Ignacio, I don't want to speak too soon here, guys, but with a, oh goodness, 6-second gap. It was 7 last time I checked, so it has cut down by a second. We could see Ignacio just starting to woe his machine down with that gap. Matvey Merriman actually off the track as we're going to see it live. Driver of the number 79, looks like a self-induced incident. We'll take another look at that Sam Studio Network replay. Yeah, looks like Matvey's running by himself here on the track, and I wonder if these rumble strips are going to claim one more. No, just trying to carry a little bit too much speed there, goes off and into the ice that is our grass here in the iRacing universe. He's able to not retain any damage, get that thing turned around and back moving. Unfortunately, just going to lose quite a bit of time there to Rotom Cats up in front. Not missing anything, speaking of out in front. Ignacio Glumster, my goodness, was a 7-second gap. It's now cut down to a 5.5, showing 5.4-second gap over Liron Shooter here. There definitely is enough time for Liron to come back in this race and possibly steal heat race win number 1 away from Ignacio. Well, right as I mentioned that gap is starting to grow once again, so it's just, if you're our race leader, easier said than done, but you just have to turn some clean laps right now, not get your LMP3 off and into, once again, the ice. There we go! It's not even going to be the ice, but just off the racing surface. That's going to be Liron that goes around there. I do believe it is the 34. We saw it live happen there. I was mentioning how just slippery the off tracks can be. No, at this point, you get off the racing line, and that LMP3 machine will come out and around from underneath you. Let's take a look at our replay of it here. This Liron pushing it to the max here as he had it. That's a driver of Itzik Grossman there, right there behind him, and just around the rear end steps on him. No damage in an outside tire barrier, but once again, quite a bit of a loss of pace for driver 34. Alrighty, if you're in the Gold Series, I know that we still have one more heat race to go and even 4 more minutes left to go in this one for heat race number 1 of Silver Series. But those of you that are in, the Gold Series drivers, I hope that you're really paying attention here to our track conditions. I actually show it on the right side of the screen here. 62% humidity point, 40 degree Celsius track temp with only an ambient temp of 24 degrees Celsius. I think that the track temps can definitely catch you off guard here. I wouldn't even track temps that caught Liron Shooter around, but just out and around and off of that racing line since the 34 round. Definitely going to have to be on our points here today, not only silver, but as well as the gold. Here's Ido Tal. He's still trying to look on this spot for Rotom Lev. Rotom up 1 spot since the drop of the green. Ido Tal up 2 spots, showing himself P4 right now with only about 3.5 minutes to go left in heat race number 1. Love these onboard shots. You can barely catch the driver hands there in the bottom right. Just I've got something special for us. Let's take a look at these driver hands. I have Ito Tal as he tries to reel in once again at Mr. Lev, keeping that wheel nice, tidy, and straight on our straightaway here. And then take a look at how, I mean, just sends the LMP3. Oh, has to really catch it there. A nice save. I'm trying to convey that as much as I can here to everybody live in YouTube land who doesn't do any racing themselves. That was a catch at just about 100, maybe even 120 kilometers an hour there for Ito Tal, keeping him right up in this battle for P3. All right, little bit of a bittersweet moment as we're going to come and approach. We should get that white flag 2 laps from now, and then we'll bring you one more heat race in Silver Series, and then we're going to bring you the Gold Series, that top 10 inversion after heat race number 1. Ignacio is going to approach some lap traffic here. I wonder if that will close that gap any for Grossman to Glumser P2 to P1. An immaculate season here once again for Ignacio, leading us in the points. With this win here, I believe should clarify. It should. What's the word I'm looking here for? Should make it set in stone. You could say that we'll see Ignacio take away the Silver Series LMP3 championship. It's been so much fun, not only this season, but I remember my first season with you guys, the Super Formula Lights, then cutting it down to the BMW M4s, and we just continue to grow speed each and every season. Hopefully you guys have me back here on IIL, ILAKA Esports and karting. This sim racing series, you can't get much better than it. We are these classes separated between silver and gold, so I mean we only have 11 drivers out here in Silver Series right now, but it keeps things a little bit more cordial. We saw that drop of the green flag. It was a lot more cordial than our starts throughout the season. Ignacio Glumser, I do believe, if my math is showing right here, he will have the white flag out. It's at Grossman with that lap traffic of Ofek Drabinski there. Close the gap now to 4.5 seconds, but I quite frankly don't think that's enough. It's here we're starting to see in the same camera shot just quite a little bit here. Yep, there you see Ofek Drabinski there, that driver of the 21 shown in P9. Next car in front of our P2 driver. Rodem Lev shown P3, this really nice paint scheme, yellow, baby blue, and just some normal blue showing itself for the 404, up 1 spot since the drop of the green. Remember, where these Silver Series drivers finish, they will start next heat race. Right after this one, Matvey Meerman also going around once again, number 79. Ignacio is getting ever so closer to the checkered flag. We'll take a look at a quick replay of Matvey. You see his hand still from the outside shots that we're giving you here going to work, and that's just a little bit off the racing line once again, and around that rear end will step on Matvey Meerman. Alrighty, that will clear it. That will signify it. That's the word I was looking for all race. Ignacio got what he was looking for all race. Quite frankly, could be this whole season's. That should set in cement there. Ignacio winning Silver Series championship. Here we go. It's at Grossman. We'll bring it out and around for the checkered flag for P3. Rodem Lev, P4. Ito Tal will bring it home. Ito Tal, P4. Rodem Katz, P5. Liron Shooter, P6. Matvey Meerman, Tomir Horzowski, I believe is that one. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Ofek Drabinski, Mini Land Irza, Raphael coming home at P11. Alrighty, we're just now getting these championship races kicked off. One more heat race for Silver Series as we're just waiting for Tomir to make his way back and around the racetrack. Then, of course, the Gold Series top 10 inversion. It'll be the same broadcast. Just stick around. We'll bring you some commercials and get right back with you for that Gold Series. Coming across the line, Tomir solidifies P8, Ofek P9, Mini Land Isra, and that will solidify once again our 11 driver field here tonight. As we're going to re-rack these puppies, restack them, bringing you some more racing action right here. Let's take a look at our starting grid. exactly how these drivers finish. Once again, Ignacio Glumster with that 5.3 second advantage. It all is going to go away here in heat race number 2. Itzik Grossman has now learned a little bit more about his competitors as well as what his LMP3 has to offer in terms of grip as speed. Rodem Lev going to take P3, and that's heat race number 1 as well as start P3 in heat race number 2. Ido Tal, Rodem Katz, Liron Shooter, Matvey Mirman, Tomir Horizowski, Ofek Drabinski, Mini Land, Rafael P11. They're out of Rafa Media. Alrighty, now that we all have seen some racing action here in the Silver Series, let me know down there in YouTube land, is Ignacio Glumster going to take away? Is he going to sweep? Look at this. We did not even, speaking of sweep, we didn't sweep the track here after our first heat race. Still, if you run offline, we just saw the gravel being rooster-tailed out the back end of these LMP3 machines. Do not go in the ice, that is the grass. Do not go off the racing line. That is also, you could consider it ice with as much gravel that we have accumulating off the racing surface here. Once again, I think if we cut back to another driver iCam here, Rodem Katz, it's not as bad down here on our back straightaway as these LMP3s are up to speed at this point on a normal lap, and it'll get that gravel right off the surface. But in those slower braking zones, speaking of Thunder Valley, as well as the keyhole, turn number 2. Our first time through it tonight with some cooler brake temps, some cooler tire pressures, and those, lower tire pressures as well as cooler tire temperatures. It's going to be quite a scent here, and I believe Ignacio has already signified and clarified his front running spots, his championship run in Silver Series. Ignacio just looking to get his LMP3 machine here to the checkered flag on all 4 tires. Ignacio Glumster, that is the driver I was talking about there. Itzik Grossman will be starting right there beside him in the driver of that number 1 baby blue LMP3 machine. Ido Tal, Rodem Lev, P3 and 4. Here we go. We're going to see that iRacing safety pace car just heading out and out of Thunder Valley here. Once again, the elevation changes are pretty crazy here at Mid-Ohio. Are already beating and banging side pods here up and for the lead. Ignacio, Itzik, the field will be in your hands in just a few corners time. I appreciate every single one of you joining in here in the Stam Studio Network, as well as IIL YouTube channel. Here we go. Green flag is out for the final race of the season for Silver Series. We're looking nice. Once again, single file start for the Silver Series as well. Of course, right as I say that, here comes Ido Tal down. He's going to have to start playing some defense on Mr. Rodem Katz, and there goes Ido Tal once again down into the inside, looking to take away P3 from Rodem Lev. There's a spin in the back. That's Rodem Lev gunning around. Hopefully not too much damage there for that driver of the 404. We'll get things back up, moving to our race lead right now. Ignacio Glumster, remember, this is how this driver got and ran away with heat race number 1 right out of the gates. Got an immaculate start and put a 3.5-4 second gap on our other drivers. Here's Itzik Grossman, Ido Tal, Liron Shooter looking 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Here's a nice battle between Tomir and Mini Land looking 6th and 7th on track. Once again, these drivers just trying to get every little single thing that they have on this car up to operating speeds, pressures, and temperatures. Right as I mentioned it, that's going to be Mini Land going around out and by himself off the braking zone, but he's actually going to take 1 or 2 drivers with him. That looks like a reaction gone wrong for Matvey Mirman, as that's going to be Tomir gone around up and ahead of this battle. He gets his LMP3 back and righted the right way, headed down into turns 1 and that keyhole. What is turn number 2? The treacherous turn number 2. Tomir's going to look down into the inside, not have what it takes. Here's Rafael taking away P7. That driver of the 86, the Purple People Eater, is up 4 spots since the drop of our green flag, and what a send! Mini just put a stamp on that package and sent it. We're going to run wide and out onto the gravel off the racing line. Mini makes that number 77 LMP3 stick. He's going to have the defensive line here heading into our next section. track map up in the bottom right-hand side. For those of you new to a mid-Ohio sports car course, it may look easy on that track map, but the elevation change, it is just, it's crazy. I can't even try to convey it. So we'll hop on board with Tomer here. Unfortunate that he lost a spot since the drop of the green flag in heat race number 2. Here comes a slower right-hander. We're going to head back down the hill. Tomer looking to close that gap on. Here's a Raphael. Here comes Matvey Meerman once again down the outside. Excuse me. That is the outside. That is possibly a little contact from Matvey. Matvey going to run a little wide as he's now looking side by side with Tomer here. This is a battle for 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Still some contact here. Excuse me. That is Rodem Lev. He's going to spin Matvey Meerman right around. Matvey is not having this heat race number 2 that he was wanting here. Unfortunately, showing it back to P11. We're going to have 2,000 to 3,000 looks at some replays that have occurred since the drop of the green flag. Speaking of the drop of the green flag in heat race number 2, let's take a look at it here. And this was a little bit further in the back of the pack. We're going to look at Rodem Lev here, where he was up in front battling for P3. I think this is going to be a self-induced spin gone wrong. The driver of the 404 will keep on board with him here going into the turns 1 and then the keyhole here. Pretty treacherous part of the track. Once again, Rodem Lev there. Immaculate speed throughout this whole race as well as this season. Runs a little wide. We're going to keep it side by side. Once again, this is our replay on our second restart there. Yep, no contact, and that's going to be Tomer, I believe that was, with just nowhere to go. He's able to save the car, keep his ship riding the right way. Speaking of the 94 here, he's starting to have to play some defense over our fast driver of Rodem Lev. Right now, Rodem shown -7 spots with that spin earlier on in the race. He's now looking down into the inside. Does he have what it takes? A little bit of a bump there as we're still, you could call that door quarter clear for Mr. Lev. Just barely. I'm not sure how he's able to make that pass work cleanly, might I add. Let's take a look at, I'm going to have to see a look at that replay on that pass for Mr. Lev. Look at that. That's Tomer just running a little bit wide, leaves the door just open just enough for driver of the 404 to go right and around to complete lap number 2. I said that we got some 2,000 to 3,000 looks at some replays. Let's take a look at, well, we saw Rodem go around. This is Mini Lant, who actually gone off the racetrack here. Ooh, that was a little bit late. We'll back that one up for you. All right, this is back up and going up the hill. And man, Tomer. You hate that for the 94. Excuse me, that dark green machine. I forget whose car that was there, but always 2 to 3 incidents here in heat race number 2 that the lime green. Excuse me, the what do you call that? Olive green machine had just had nowhere to go. Speaking of having nowhere to go, here's. Man, the driver of the 86 here tonight, not only in heat race number 1, but even so far in heat race number 2, he's continuing to gain spots. Right now shown up 2 spots gained since that drop of the green. Unfortunately, Raphael starting P11 right now up to P9. Oh, I heard some tires begging for life there. That is right on the the line there for our driver of the 77. Mini Land gone around. We're gonna have to see how this one happened and if another car was involved. When he looks to be running by, well, I say by himself, he's got drivers just about a second in front and behind. Just tries to carry a little bit too much speed, not enough rear downforce to make that car stick. And once again, that's right on the racing line, that purple people leader. Here's Raphael as well as Tomer able to find their way around that wreck. Matvey Meerman cutting back to live coverage here side by side with Mini Land after his incident. I'm sure the tires are a little bit too heated up as well, iRacing not simulating the flat spots as well as they could, I will be honest. But here is a nice battle for our P10 and 11 spot. As we're right on board with Matvey here, we're looking side by side once again, not able to make the spot. Has to give that the point by right back to Mini Land. That could have possibly been a pass gone wrong. Now here's Mini Land, who runs himself a little wide. And we're going to look side by side here for P10. That is door quarter clear for Meerman, able to take that spot. P10 for Matvey. All right, I'm going to take you through the field here as we are almost halfway in heat race number 2, our final race here in the series for Silver Series. Ignacio Glumser continuing to lead with this pace that he has had, not even today here, guys, but throughout this whole season. That's why we are seeing the driver of the number 2 lead these silver points. It's Grossman. He's still right there with him, only 1.6 seconds back, but that gap is sadly continuing to grow to that race leader, Ito Tal. Speaking of nice season and nice race, Ito finds himself up 1 spot since that drop of the green flag in that number 8 LMP3 machine. Red, white, a little bit of black action there for that driver of that number 8. Liron Shooter there, right there behind him. 3.9 seconds back, but close enough that if an incident does occur here, we could have Liron in our final driver interview spot for Silver Series. Continuing to work our way down and through the field, Rodham Katz. I believe this driver is P3 in the standings right now. I know we got some Rodham action, P2 and 3. Actually, I think that's Lev. Anyways, the 646 finds himself right now running P5 here tonight, working our way down into Thunder Valley, back and down the hill. It's going to be a quick right-hander, then switch back to the left. Call this the S's, if you will, here from Mid-Ohio. Ofek is also up 3 spots since that drop of the green flag, shown in 6th place right now. He's trying to fight off that hard-charging Rodham Lev as he finds himself up to P7, he being Rodham Lev. Looking for a little bit better heat race number 2 as he's now -4 spots. What a save there out of Ofek Dubinsky in front of Rodham. Well, with all the playoff points going out the window after this race, and then a whole new season will start to incur, I think you just got to lay it all out on the line here if you're Rodham. You got to make this pass done quick, but after that spin earlier on, you're now 14 seconds back behind our next Rodham in P5. Continuing to work our way down into the field. Tomir here is having himself a nice run back to where he started this heat race number 2 in P number 8. Ezra Raphael in P9 up 2 spots in his purple machine. Matvey Mirman and Minnie Land rounding out 10th and 11th. All right, we got some gaps starting to accumulate here, so hey, I know what I'm going to do. We're halfway in this thing. It's right on cue. Every single one of you that's happened to join in live here on SSN and IIL. Oh man, the gravel there, hang on. The gravel there going out of turn 12 and 13. Looks like snow on the track, there's so much. Anyways, now that is out of the way, race fans, crank this puppy up. I'm gonna let you enjoy the sights and sounds of these engines and the racetrack. I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. Alrighty, go ahead, crank this puppy back down. Sean Stam is back up with you here in the booth. Man, from the bottom of my heart, not only the drivers here, but also every single one of you joining down here in YouTube land, whether it's for the live broadcast or even the broadcasted replay. It means the world to me here, and Tal, yeah, there, everybody that makes this all happen here behind the scenes, I appreciate that, as well as, man, Ignacio Glumser. It's going to be hard to catch this driver with a 2.5 second gap. Really similar looking paint schemes between 1 and 2. It's at Grossman. He has been there race in and race out. Not consistent enough, respectfully, to be shown in the top 3 in the points. But once again, while we crest the season here, getting to our last race of Silver Series, let's, for one last time, bring up our point standings. This was before the race here today. Ignacio should come away with our championship win. Rodham Cats there, just quite a few points there in front of Rodham Lev, Edo Tal, and Birdie. Unfortunately, Birdie not able to make his way out here tonight in that top 5 spot. Ignacio, with our fastest lap time shown right now on the track was a 18.4. And those of you that are going to continue to watch up into the Gold Series race that happens on this same broadcast right after this race, keep in mind, that is what's meant to say there. Keep in mind those lap times with that 1:18.5 for our race leader, Ignacio Glumser. It's going to be, with all due respect, very interesting to compare these lap times for our Gold Series drivers. And I really applaud Tal for doing what he does here, and he's able to keep our classes separate on track while still bringing you the same stream. It'll be on the same stream right after this one, and also what Tal's able to do is keep the driver count up throughout the whole season. I know we're only showing 11 drivers here tonight. It's been about 15, 16, both in the silver and gold. That, with all due respect, I really do appreciate it. That could be about 30 drivers on track at once, but we all know what happens, especially in these LMP3 machines. 30 drivers on track at once, diving down into turn 1. Well, you never know what you're going to get. Tell you what you're going to get with Ignacio right here. Ignacio, you better start to be careful here, buddy. Tal's going to stick you in that Gold Series if you start showing this racecraft and speed. Now it's, 5.8 seconds over Itzik Grossman. Edo Tal is just 1.1 seconds back behind our P2 driver. Leron Shooter and Rodham Cats, Rodham Lev rounding out that top 6. Oh, what a save there from Edo Tal. Holy cow. He had that thing just about slideways coming out of, I think that was turn 13 there. That's, once again, it's so hard to convey just how hard it is to drive even one of these LMP3s, let alone save the car like that. We're hopping on board with Edo here, down into the keyhole. You would imagine that these Michelins, I believe these cars are overheated to the max here tonight, with only, we're showing 3.5 minutes to go left in heat race 2. Well, this has been so fun throughout this whole season. I know that the gaps are starting to show themselves here a little bit within Silver Series. Be sure that you stick around for Gold. The gaps that we see here, what we do see 3.84 seconds now, well, that'll be 0.8 seconds to 1 second between 4th and 5th. Rodham Lev, again, with as much speed and racecraft that this driver has had here this season in the 404, it's I don't know, it kind of hurts to see Rodham going to finish our championship race out here, heat race number 2, P6, if he's not able to reel in, goodness, 15-second gap. He did reel in at 10, 9, 8, and 7 to work himself up to 6, but that big of a gap to P5, I don't know if that one is possible. Matvey Meerman here, we're going to have another replay of it, just trying to get himself around the track, and oh, he's already fighting. He's going to run off the race line here. Oh, that's I think the one that we saw just last time there. That rear end's going to come right around on him. Tries to carry a little bit too much speed and off that racing line. Just no grip left. Alrighty, well, Silver Series drivers, if you happen to be listening live into the broadcast, be sure that you stick around for your top 3 interviews. I don't want to speak too soon here, but just about 2 minutes to go. That should be 2 minutes until that's, 2 laps left to go in the race if my math is all mathing up here. Ignacio, Itzik, and Ido Tal we should see these drivers, hear from them as I make my way into the Gold Series session right after this race. Right now, Ignacio, is this going to be just a white flag lap? No, Barney's not waving it yet, so that was just under a 118 lap, and there's just over 118 to go in the race, so 2 laps to go in the race. There we go. Now my math is mathing. Got the cobwebs all knocked off there. Ido Tal is going to have about, what would that be, 29 more chances if you count every single turn as a passing opportunity. You can't here, though, at Mid-Ohio. There's, out of the 13 turns, there's only really 5 or 6 that you can really get a passing move done. Speaking of trying to make a move, here's Matvey Meerman trying to make it happen here on Tomir Hurazowski as Tomir is sitting P8 once again right where he started this race just 2 laps to go here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Gaps are closing for Matvey, but you got to remember with the quite a few loops around that Matvey has had. Oh man, has to really catch the car down there into the hard braking zone. You just imagine that these fronts are just overheated to the max here as these drivers should be coming to their 2 lap to go mark here, coming out of turn 13, being in 8th and 9th. Itzik Grossman has now lost. What has happened? Ignacio Glumsher is now on the back bumper of Itzik Grossman, who is going to come around to take the white flag lap here. What had happened from Ignacio Glumsher is we'll have to take a look at the replay of it. Here's now looking out the back bumper of Itzik Grossman. It is a battle on the white flag lap here between our 2 front runners. With Ignacio having just 4 seconds of a gap, you got to imagine that was a self-induced spin. Hopefully no lap traffic inducing anything here as Itzik Grossman gets a nice run there, and out of the keyhole, we could see Itzik Grossman come away with heat race number 2 win as he's now pulling a 7/10 of a second gap over what's led every single lap here today in Silver Series. Ignacio looking P2. He's closed the gap from 7/10 down to 6/10 of a second as we continue to work our way to our final lap here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Guys, I don't think Ignacio Glumsher, although he should have enough points to win the championship, I don't think he will have enough, be what it takes to take the win away from Itzik Grossman, as Itzik has done just that for Ignacio Glumsher. Here we go, heading out of in turns 12, 13, and 14. 12, 13 for the final times here tonight. The elevation change. It's going to present Itzik Grossman. Take away the checkered flag. He's going to take away the sweep from Ignacio Glumsher. Although congratulations to Ignacio. I do believe you have solidified the championship there. Ido Tal, Liron Shooter, Rodem Katz, Rodem Lev, Ofek Drabinsky, Tomir Hurazowski, Matvey Meerman will round out our top 9. Once again, top 3 drivers who finished this race. If you have yourselves a copy, be sure you make your way into the driver interview booth. I know it may sound like I'm trying to wrap this one up pretty quick, because I am. I don't want to miss the Gold Series session that's starting on right about now. Checkered flag is out, and these spots will be solidified as long as points aren't rescinded. Congratulations on Ignacio Glumsher winning and conquering the Silver Series championship run. I'll be right back with you here with some driver interviews and bringing you the Gold Series broadcast on this same stream. Stick with us here on SSN and IIL.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Alrighty, welcome back here into SSN and IIL, where I am with our two front runners from Silver Series last race. I know Itzik, you came away with that win, but we're going to start with Ignacio Glumser here, our overall championship winner in Silver Series. Ignacio, you got yourself a copy.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a great season. At the start, I needed to understand a bit more the car. I think in Portimao, which is a really hard track, I understood better the car, and since then I could win races, so it felt good.
Well, Ignacio, congrats once again on heat race #1 and championship win in silver. What happened there on that last lap where you lost the second race win to Itzik there?
Yeah, I was looking at the lap card that was in front of me, and I think I lost the braking point, some disconcentration, which is it's something to learn for next season. So yeah, I'm good for Itzik.
Hey, that just goes to show how fast it all happens here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Real quick, before we get moving to Itzik and then our Gold Series, who makes this all possible? Is there anybody who you'd like to shout out, Ignacio, for not only tonight but this whole season?
The whole season, well, my family here in Israel and Uruguay, they're watching. My uncle Gustavo that always sends me pictures, and my mom, my yeah, and my friends from Aliada, they are always looking. So thank you everyone.
Hey, that means the world there. Thank you everybody for joining in here, SSN IIL. Be sure you keep on with us for this Gold Series, and congrats once again to Ignacio. Hopefully you bring the same pace here with us next season.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you for all the transmission you do. It's great, really. To watch it after the race, it's super cool.
Well, that's something else that means the world to me, Ignacio. Congrats once again. And normally I'll say don't celebrate too hard, but hey, I'll give you full authority here tonight, Ignacio. You earned this one.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff here, so yeah, to be happy. Yeah.
All right, Ignacio, thank you once again for taking little moments with us here for some driver interviews, Silver Series. Congrats once again, and so with that, we'll move to heat race #2 winner, Itzik Grossman. You got yourself a copy.
Yeah, it was a great race. I'm happy in the end I managed to clinch the #1 spot. It happens that way sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean #1 is #1, so I'll take it any way I can.
Yeah, what did you think when you were approaching that? That was 2 laps to go there. You saw there out of your windscreen there, and next thing you know that you had the lead coming into the last lap.
Yeah, there wasn't any time to think too much. I was just focused on seeing if I could get by, but more importantly, making sure that, we don't crash and ruin both our races. That was the #1 priority. But yeah, it just happened that way, that there was just enough space to get around the outside and make it clean. And yeah, it was not easy holding that last lap. Ignacio had incredible pace today. But yeah, it's a very hard track to overtake on, and I managed to bring it home.
Real quick, before we let you get going here, Itzik, I was so focused on another battle on track, and then right when I cut back to you two, I mean, I saw you nose to tail. Did you see something when you were cresting the hill? Did you see Ignacio spun around? Was he just off the pace?
Yeah, I saw him. I saw him spinning. So I was trying to calculate his direction of travel. Is he going outside? Is he going inside? And then just
Is
to
he
take
holding
the
the
line
brakes? Is he not? There's so much.
Exactly.
So much that goes into it. Well, speaking of so much that goes into it here, Itzik here, congrats again on your win here in heat race number 2. Who are we shouting out here tonight? Who makes this all possible? Not even tonight, but this whole season.
Yeah, I'll shout out like everybody in the league, starting from Tal, who's organizing the whole thing, you as well for like putting together these broadcasts, and everybody for participating, and everybody who's also a part of it behind the scenes. It's been a great season and a lot of fun. So I want to say thanks to everybody who makes it happen and everybody who's a part of it.
Real quick, one more question for you here. It's one that just popped up in my mind. Were you racing with IIL before the LMP3 series, or did you just kind of come in this season?
No, this is my rookie season.
Wow.
It's been a great way to start. Hopefully the first of many.
Well, congratulations once again, and hopefully we'll be chatting with you in the driver interview booth next season.
Looking forward to it. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, and man, have a great rest of your night.
Thank you.
Alrighty, well, with those Silver Series driver interviews now done, we're going to bring you some qualifying action here now that, oh wait, let's see here. Okay, there we go. Apologies there. Yuval Merrick on the pole for the moment, but with 1, 2, 3 different drivers left out here on track. This could be anybody's ball game here, and with the top 10 inversion here in the Gold Series, as well as, well, we actually saw Silver Series, the cordial starts there in turns 1 and 2. I think this, for the championship run here tonight, we could have a little bit of a switchback, call it what you will here. I think we're going to see these Gold Series drivers kind of throwing their elbows out, giving it all they can, especially with that top 10 inversion. Let's take a real quick look at the ever so important points in our Gold Series. Alrighty, there you see the gold points. Reuven Cha-Cha there leading us with 254 points. I think Reuven just has to come away with this race on all 4 tires. Yuval Merrick right there, but back behind at 206. Rand Sassoni coming in at 170, rounding out us top 3 in the points before tonight gets kicked off. Alan Gabe, Arnon Levi, Yoshi Gabe, Iran Delitsky, Iliad Hiskia, and Mark Zubarev running at that top 10 in the points, all the way 114 for Mark. Alrighty, back to some live track action here. So, holy, we just saw a car disappear into Mach 2. Looks like Yuval actually will take that starting grid spot, and we'll flash those starting spots up on the top of your screen here. There we see it. Yuval Merrick, the driver in 25, putting in that 118.8. And remember, I told you guys that were watching the Silver Series race, keep an eye on these lap times, just how close they are. They're a lot closer than I would have thought here. Rand Sassoni will bring it home P2, or start the race P2 in at number 43 with 0.073 seconds back on our pole sitter, Mr. Merrick. Alan Gabe there, driver number 15, 1/10 of a second back from Yuval. Arnon Levi, 4/10 of a second back, will be starting P4, that driver 39. Yossi Gabe, Omri Farag, Iran Delitsky, Ido Baustan, Tomir Ventura, Mark Zubarev rounding out 6th from 10th. Mark Zubarev there out of RAFA Media, that's 030. LMP3 shown 1.5 seconds back. Drawer last, Tal Stern making 11, 12th. Also got 13th here tonight with Nadav Yaron. Alrighty, if you're just now joining in here on STAM Studio Network and the the IIL YouTube channels. Well, that is A-okay. Hopefully you caught at least some of what was the Silver Series. Oh man, that is not your TV freaking out on you. That's actually Rand, who we're still waiting on to grid up there in that P2 spot. Alan Gabe is going to be right there behind him. Rand, I wonder where driver number 43 is here with that immaculate qualifying effort. There he is going to pop up. That scared me there. Actually, Nadav Yaron, that driver 13, we were waiting on to grid up. Looks like not going to make the race here tonight. Alrighty, the whole season's going to come down to this here, ladies and gentlemen. We got a full pace lap to go, 13 turns. This is 2.2 miles, that's 3.5 kilometers of just intense racing action. This is this track, one of my favorites, I think, because it feels like a roller coaster that was built by a drunken man himself. It's going to be a war of attrition. It's going to be a war of speed as well as survival. Well, normally I would say 2 different classes racing and 2 different series, but here we go. We're just going to bring you the last race here after we've already solidified our championship just earlier on in the stream with Ignacio winning heat race number 1 and that championship. Itzik winning heat race number 2. Now the points, I will say, they are close enough that if we do have a Yuval Merrick and Rantasoni incident up here in front, and these drivers finish on the record both heat races, there could be a little changes here in the top 3. But real quick, before we get going, one more time, let's take a look at our top 3 in the points for Gold Series. Once again, that's Reuven Chacha, Yuval Merrick, and Rantasoni. Reuven, he is not out here with us this weekend, but correct me if I'm wrong here in YouTube land, I do believe Reuven has made the Gold Series championship kind of set in stone at this point with that gap. It's going to be interesting to see who's fighting for P2 here. It's our front 2 runners here on the track from mid-Ohio. Yuval Merrick slapping it on the pole with that 118, and got Rantasoni going to start right there beside him. Just a few moments away from green flag racing. Real quick, I'd like to thank our sponsors who make this all possible here tonight. GRIIP, DRS Drive and Ride Simulations, as well as IIL, ILAKA Esports and Karting. Everybody who makes this possible there behind the scenes, Ilya, Tal, every single one of you. You see that pace car start to dive into that safety of pit lane. Here we go. Green flag is just a few moments away from out. The field is going to be, you already see it, Yuval Merrick going to lead us into turns 1 and 2. That was a nice start. He's already on the gas. We're already looking single file into turns 1 and 2. Nice, calm, cordial start. Here comes some 2 wide here in the back, further in the back of the pack. Tomer Ventura and Mark Zubarev able to solidify it back to single file. Here comes Omri Farag and Iran Delitsky. They will also single file this puppy out. Back to Mark Zubarev. Tomer Ventura starting to look side by side into the keyhole. Back and down the hill. Door quarter clear, just barely for Tomer. We'll get back up into the race lead for Yuval Merrick and Rantasoni. Not miss anything up out front. Matter of fact, throughout the whole field right now, every single driver where they started this race is where they are running. Here comes Yuval Merrick continuing to run away with it. Rantasoni starting to play some defense over Alan Gabe here. These top 3 drivers, you could throw a blanket over all 3. Here comes Arnon Levi, Yossi Gabe, Omri Farag, Iran Delitsky. Blankets over 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th as well. Make our way down our short chute straightaway here from mid-Ohio, where we will have a little bit of slipstream start to ensue here. It's going to help you on those straight sections of the track, but it's just going to hurt as you get dirty air washed up on the front of your LMP3 machine in these slower section corners. These Le Mans Prototype 3 machines need the clean air to make themselves grip onto the racetrack. If you're running in that dirty wake, it's just, well, you better get at least a headlight or 2, quite preferably if you can, there in the clean air back behind these slower speed corners. Our top three are still looking the same. Matter of fact, the whole pack, excuse me, is still looking the same. Right now, a really nice battle starting to heat up between Yossi Gabe and Arnon Levi. This is into a hard braking zone here. I wonder if Yossi Gabe is going to make a dive bomb. No, not able to make it work. Here comes some passing action. Here comes Jor last. Mark Zubrev having to play the offensive line there, having to take the spot right back. That's Mark Zubrev back to P10 where he started the race. Jor last. Tal Stern has his popcorn bucket out as he has a front row full of this battle. Hopping on board with our front bumper cam there of Tal Stern as he continues to, I thought he was going to reel in Jor last, but Jor with a little bit better run off turns 12 and 13 last time by. Here we go to complete lap number 3. Or complete lap number 2, coming to 3, excuse me, here. Yuval Merrick continues to lead. Tal Stern, who we were just on board with, I'm showing an incident, but he is still moving and grooving. Not sure what just happened as Jor last had gone off the track. Tal Stern, we're going to take a look at what could have been an incident here, unless my graphics, timing, and scoring is just throwing me for a loop. This is Tal Stern, around turn 12 and 13. Oh, he has to slam on the brakes to miss a spinning Jor last there, that number 55. No harm, no foul for both of these drivers. They'll just lose about a second or two to Mark Zubrev back there in P10. Back to our battle for the race lead. P2 is heating up between Ran Sassoni, Alan Gabe. Now, Ran, something special here if we have this driver. Oh, we do, yes. There we see our live driver cams. Yuval Merrick, a race leader in the top. Ran Sassoni in P2, back where he started this race. He's not out of this battle for the race lead yet, though. Only 0.6 of a second back. You see, Rand, I don't think he has blinked since about the start of this race. Same could be said with Mr. Merrick here as well. That gap is now cut down to less than half a second between Sassoni and Merrick. Here we go into turns 1 and 2. The very, very important keyhole section. The downhill hairpin. It just presents a nice passing opportunity or an opportunity to close that gap on your counterparts here just a little bit more. Ran with a little bit wider racing line, able to close the gap ever so slightly to our race leader. What was 0.7 of a second has cut its way down to 0.45. I'll be honest, I don't hate where Rand's running right now. I would, of course, love to be leading the race here at Mid-Ohio, but with these extreme elevation changes as well as what we saw in the Silver Series race, or what we saw the result of Ignacio just getting a little too deep into a braking zone. Around he went, and P2 ended up coming away with that race win in the Silver Series. Don't count that out happening here in the Gold Series, although these drivers quite a bit more time on track as well as road course I rating. Anything can happen as well. Oh, we see a big lockup there out of Yuval Merrick. He's able to get the car slowed and woed down, heading turns into turns 12 and 13, excuse me, there. We're starting to throw a blanket over positions 1 and 2, and if Yuval and Rand start to get a little side-by-side action here, don't count out Alan Gabe as he is just 0.8 of a second right there behind Ran Sassoni. iRacing driver 9 is saying, are we in heat 2 right now? Just asking because the graphic says heat 1. iRacing driver 9, if you're joining us here in the Gold Series, this actually is heat race number 1, and then we will be bringing you heat race number 2, unless that you're asking there for the Silver Series. Then that was the graphics, timing, and scoring, throwing you guys for a loop as well. Reuven Cha-Cha here in YouTube land, let's go see and can't wait for that turn 1 party. Reuven, I was right there with you. But we actually saw quite a bit of a cordial start there on our initial start of heat race number 1 here in Gold Series. Real quick, let's take another look at this race start. You see Yuval Merrick there, that white car who's shown in first place right now. He's starting to run away with it just on the gas early there out of turns 13 And here, look at this, guys. Through turns 1 and even through the keyhole turns 2, we will keep things moving and grooving. Only one driver had to come to a complete stop, and that was Tal Stern after drawer last with a bit of a self-incident, but none of those drivers incurring any damage in our first lap, or quite frankly, up until now. Reuven, if you're still down here with us in YouTube land, real quick, I'd like to congratulate you on your Gold Series championship run throughout this whole season. You were able to accumulate enough points to where I don't even think that you have to come out and race with us tonight. I know that I know you told me 2 weeks ago you'll be just a little bit busy, but still tuning in here. I really appreciate that, man, and hopefully the points stay where they stood here coming into tonight as well, the battle for our overall race win in heat race number 1 for the Gold Series. It's continuing to heat up. Well, I do say continuing to heat up. It's about stagnant here as the gap is stayed just about 0.7, 0.8 seconds there back to Rand. Got Alan Gabay is right there with him in our final driver interview spot, heat race number 1. Let me know if everything down there in YouTube land is sounding okay, if the cars are too loud, if I am too loud, if these drivers are too loud. No, we don't have any driver audio here tonight, as that would get me banned real quick. No, I'm just kidding there, but we are starting to see some battles start to heat up. Here's Aaron Deliski and Omri Farag is starting to heat up for the battle for P6. Aaron Deliski up 1 spot since the drop of the green. Omri minus 1 spot. These drivers a little bit cat and mouse starting to ensue as we just make our way almost to halfway to go here in heat race number 1 for Gold Series. Mark Zubrev and Tomir Ventura are also starting to heat up their battles for 9th and 10th on track. Hopping on board with our back bumper cam of Tomir Ventura. We're starting to see the braking distances change between these two drivers. Mark able to dive his LMP3 machine just a little deeper into the braking zone, but here you can see air out of corner exits. Looks like Tomir Ventura able to pull away just a slight bit, and same story goes with here Ido Balstown, driver number 50. He's able to sacrifice a little bit of corner entry speed for corner ahead. Back up to this battle between Aaron Deliski and Omri Farag here. Go to complete lap number 8. Coming to lap number 8 there. Almost halfway within this race, and halfway is right around when I like to treat you guys to the sights and sounds of the racetrack here. I think we're close enough here. Enjoy the sights, the sounds, the engines of these LMP3 machines. It's, Omri's going to run deep into that braking zone here. I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. Enjoy it while this puppy lasts. Alrighty, crank it back down. Welcome back here to SSN and the IIL YouTube channel. Real quick, before we get back to this racing action here between Zubrev and Ventura, excuse me. Every single one of you that makes this possible, not only the drivers, but you race fans down there joining in YouTube land, as well as, I mean, the drivers, the league owners, the list goes on and on. Seriously, just taking a moment to appreciate every single one of you, as well as the sponsors and affiliates, DRS, Drive and Ride Simulations. You got double IP down there for those iRacing, sim racing gloves and equipment, as well as just IIL themselves, racetostopsuicide.com, something a little bit more closer to me. If, you know, just check on every single one of your buddies there, your friends, your family member, every once in a while. I know it may sound a little silly here, but it's, you never know just how long, not just how you doing, but, you know, genuinely have a conversation with them and ask how they are doing, check out and make sure everything is okay. Back to some racing action, though. Here we go. Yossi Gabe, he's able to pull away, lose a second over on Levi for that P4 spot. As Yossi still tries to work his way back up. Our battles are really, with all due respect here, with shown on the second half of the pack for 8th, 9th, and 10th. We have a battle heating up between Ido Baustan and Tomer Ventura, as well as Dror Last and Tal Stern. Speaking of league owner, hey, here's one of them here. Tal Stern able to, he kept his LMP3 on track after that first incident there, I believe, lap 1. And what I even call an incident, no, it was just Tal Stern hard onto the brakes. If you're just now joining us, let's take a look at what league owner had to do here on lap 1 of the race. Yep, there. Oh, it was kind of a double spin there. I know I called it earlier as Tal just had nowhere to go, but that was actually, it could have been an overreaction, or just seeing Jorst there spin in front of them and just, yeah, exactly, overreaction, thinking nowhere to go. Iran Deliski leading Omri Farag here once again for our 6th spot. Goodness gracious, the speed and the racecraft of these drivers here, not only in the race itself here, but practice and qualifying. There was hardly any incidents in practice, and looking at qualifying, well, only 2 drivers right now on the race have swapped spots. Every single other driver is where they started this race. Aaron Deliski is up 1 spot. Omri Farag, well, these drivers just traded spots. Omri now shown -1 spot in 7th spot. Oh, here's Tal Stern going off the track here. He's able to keep it back on and moving. We'll take a replay at this incident here. I think Tal is pretty lucky to keep his LMP3 machine moving after getting into the, the grass. That's what I meant to, yeah, you can see the grass and gravel start to rooster tail at the rear end of this LMP3 machine for Mr. Tal Stern. He's able to somehow, once again, keep it on the asphalt and out of a tire barrier after running off the racing surface. Back to live racing action. We got the man himself, Yuval Merrick, continuing to lead. Got a 1.5 second gap over Rantasoni right now. Alan Gabe is shown P3, excuse me. Those driver cams, you can start to see these drivers, their emotions, their kind of mental and physical fatigue starting to set in. Oh, man, if I'm mistaken there, it looks like you've all sweating a little bit. Yeah, exactly. There you go. I am right there with you, Ball. In these road course races, shoot, even in my side of oval. But we're only 15 minutes into this thing. Yep, right now is about the time when sweat would start to accumulate. Here's Mark Zubarev. He gets into the ice that is the grass in the iRacing universe. Around he goes. Where he stops, nobody knows. Waits, no, it is not. Oh, God. I can tell you where he stops. It is the racetrack. I don't know what just tried to come up there. iRacing driver and Reuven, if you're still hanging out here in the live YouTube lands, well, let me know who your race pick is to win. Unfortunately, it's not going to be Alan Gabe as he finds himself with some heavy contact into the pits. We'll see what happened to Alan here. This is probably after it's happened. Yeah, you see no rear wing on that LMP3. That looks like a... He's just going to dive out on off the racing surface. Doesn't want to take anybody with him. Here's Alan Gabay's incident here that got rid of that rear wing. Here we go, up and turns. Well, this is turn 1 right here. It's already treacherous enough, and then going into the keyhole next. Holy! We're going to have to take another look at that. That driver got off the racing surface. Give Alon his pilot's license ASAP. Goodness gracious, I haven't seen an LMP3 flight like that off a racetrack in quite a while. Let's slow this thing down for you here and everybody at home. Look at this, the asphalt transition to grass there. That was 4 tires off the racing surface. Alan trying to save it, but you can't save a car when there's no contact to the ground around, and that thing's going to back into the guardrail there. Number 15, seen better days. Number 25 here, race leader Yuval Merrick. He's seen better days, and he is taking advantage of it right now. Well, I say seen better days. He's going to come away with, I don't want to speak too soon, but just a couple, it looks like 3 to 4 laps to go left in this race. Only a 1.6 second gap to Ryan Sassoni right there behind. And if you guys did catch any of our heat race number 2 for Silver Series, we have seen not even a 4 to 5 second gap is far enough for the race leader, Yuval Merrick. You're continuing to push here, but you're out to a game of cat and mouse with yourself here. Do you continue to push and possibly just run a little bit wide in a braking zone, possibly catch a little bit of that ice that is the grass here in the iRacing universe, or do you continue to kind of slow and low things down just a little bit, maybe lose a 1/10 of a second here or there, but try to just finish this race on all 4 tires? We should be coming to the white flag lap next time by. Yuval Merrick, Ryan Sassoni, Arnon Levi running 1, 2, 3. Got Yossi Gabay, nice run for this driver, showing P4. Iran Delitsky, Omri Farag, Ido Balstan, Tomer Ventura, Mark Zubarev, Tal Stern, rounding out our top 10. You can't say enough, about Mr. Merrick here, coming out of Thunder Valley. About 10 turns 10, 11, and 12 make their way down turns 13 to complete our lap. Should be coming to the white flag lap next time by, and once again, the Sean and Tater curse has strike I don't know. One too many times here this season. Not only in IIL, but some of the other broadcasts I do. So I think I'll just I'll cut off of Mr. Merrick. Here's what we will have. Here we go. Yep, that is definitely white flag lap being thrown here. Sassoni is able to, he's kept the gap just about stagnant to Mr. Merrick there up in front. But if we take a look at the lap time history between the two coming up on the bottom of your screen here, speaking of cat and mouse, it has been just that. Look at laps 11, 12, 13, 14, man, even 15. Green, orange, of course green meaning faster for Ran, orange meaning faster for Yuval there. It's been so much cat and mouse that gap has stayed the same, just about 1.5 seconds. With this top 10 inversion, however, for the Gold Series, we will have to see these drivers make their way up and through the pack. What is a tight turn 1, as well as turn 2, the keyhole. Shoot, drivers, the whole track is tight around here. The whole racing surface skinnier than, I don't know. I don't know what it is skinnier than. Caldwell Park, there we go. That is the connection I will make here to mid-Ohio. Of course, Cadwell being over there in the UK. Here we go, coming to our checkered flag lap for heat race number 1. Yuval will make this, solidify it in the iRacing history books. You can breathe now, Yuval. You just have one more heat race to go. Ran wiping the sweat off of his face. Also, Randy got one more heat race to go to make anything happen here. Arnon Levi will bring it home at P3. What would be the final driver interview spots, but the way we do our final driver interviews is based off heat race number 2. Once again, this is our championship run here tonight. I'm starting to get a little tear in my eye. Only one more heat race to go here for IIL. ILAKA Esports and Karting. Omri Farag, Ido Balstan, Tomer Vajura, Ventura, excuse me, Mark Zubrev, Tal Stern, drawer last, Alan Gabay, Nadav Yerin, rounding out our 13 driver grid. As these drivers continue to make their way down and around the last turns of the racetrack, let's take a look at, oh, it's not quite ready yet, but basically you see 11th and 12th. Drawer last, Alan Gabay will be starting where they finished this race. Then you see that top 10. It will be Tal Stern. Tal Stern on the pole. This is going to be so much fun to watch. Hey, I'm gonna warn you guys right now down here watching live in YouTube land. Make sure you got your drink, your beverage of choice, a little popcorn in hand, because right now, league owner will be bringing us to that green flag. Speaking of league owner bringing us to the green flag, Mark Zubrev, excuse me, that's Tal Stern, league owner. Mark Zubrev will be right behind, or beside league owner in that 030 out of Rafa Media, Tomer Ventura, Ido Baustan, Omri Farag, Iren Deliski, Yossi Gabay, Arnon Levi, Ran Sassoni, Yuval Merrick. Keep your eyes here. We're going to have to keep a camera on number 43 and 25, as those were our front two runners in heat race number 1. Drawer last, Alan Gabay, rounding out our 12 driver field here tonight. Alrighty, we do have that whole pace lap to go, but that is A-okay. We're going to take a look at some paint schemes here for you guys here in YouTube land. And let me know who your favorite paint scheme here is tonight. We got Tal Stern running that CEO baby blue and white IIL colored machine. LMP3 looking nice there at Tal Stern. Mark Zubrev's going to be starting right there beside him after finishing heat race number 1 in P9. That Red Bull-inspired LMP3 machine. It has pace week in and week out. Will now be starting on our front row. Ido Baustan, red, white, and blue action there. I believe that's his default colors on this LMP3. That is A-okay. Which is, okay, anyways there. Tomer Ventura starting P4. Iren Deliski, Omri Farag, Arnon Levi starting 7th tonight. Yossi Gabay, Ran Tassoni, Yuval Merrick will be starting 9th and 10th. Remember, these are 9 and 10th running drivers right now. These drivers finished heat race number 1 in 1 and 2 finishing spots. Drawer last, Alan Gabay will round out 11th and 12th. Well, we will have to keep an eye on our kind of mid-pack to start of this race, but we will definitely have some cameras on Yuval Merrick and Ranty Sony, as those drivers once again will be trying to work their way up and through the race pack after our top 10 inversion. Here we go, cresting turns 11, 12, and 13. That's iRacing safety pace car. You will see, well, here we go at a 13. Oh no, this is coming onto our straightaway. Sorry there. Our iRacing safety pace car just a few moments away from diving into the safety of pit lane. Once again, let me know who you have down there in YouTube land below. This is going to get good for heat race number 2 in the Gold Series. Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, one of my favorite tracks here, not even in real life, but also in the sim. We're going to have the elevation changes here tonight. This track, I think, was put together by a roller coaster designer. Not only roller coaster designing, but he was drunk while he did it. Yes, just a little bit too much alcohol in the system. This track is quite frankly crazy. And now we got some LMP3s on him for the final race of the LMP3 season. Here we go! Championship run, 3 wide going into turns 1 and 2. We'll settle it back down to turn 2 and 2 wide between second and third. 3, Mark Zubrev, Tomer Ventura looking 2 wide. Here comes 2 wide further in the back of the pack. Oh, that was a little bit of a lock-up city there for Omri Farag. We'll keep things moving and grooving. Here we go, 2 wide for, I believe that is Rantasoni and Yuval Merrick here for 7th and 8th. Already moving up to 6th and 7th is Yuval Merrick and Rantasoni. Here we go, side by side. A little bit further up in the back, excuse me, the front of the pack. There's Ido Baustan. Now Yuval Merrick is getting a front review right in front of Yuval Merrick. Oh! Ooh, Yuval is unfortunately involved in this one. Rancisoni makes his way through. We're going to have 3,000 looks at this replay, keeping things moving and grooving out front. Tal Stern continues to lead. All right, apologies if I got a little too excited there, but this is so cool. League owner continuing to lead lap 1. Mark Zubrev not losing his P2 spot to Tomer Ventura. Tomer up to P3 on track. Rancisoni, who we hop on board with now, our biggest mover since that drop of the green flag, showing up 5 spots right now. Ran in our P4 spot. Here comes Yossi Gabay, for P5. Alan Gabay making P6. Goodness, that start was so clean. We're still starting to have some side-by-side here. Once things settle down here just a little bit, I will be bringing you some 3,000 looks at some replays. Here's Alan Gabay right on the back bumper. Of course, Gabay will hop on board with Alan here. Our roll bar camera, see what this driver sees here heading on to out of our back straightaway into into Thunder Valley here, some hard braking zone, basically the S's portion of our track here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Alon deeper into the braking zone, has to sacrifice a little bit of run off. Battle for P3 starting to heat up as, oh, that's Tomer Ventura who's gone around. I don't know, or we'll have to take another replay over there with Rancisoni. I don't think there was contact between the two. Gonna keep things moving and grooving just like we will in the broadcast. Then I will be bringing you every single replay of what has occurred since the drop of the green flag as far as wrecks go here. Here's Tal Stern continuing to lead Mark Zubrev, but for how long? These drivers possibly starting to make some teamwork, make the dream work here at Mid-Ohio as Rancisoni is headed with a head of steam now in the same camera shot, showing 0.75 seconds back from our front 2 runners. Matt V. Meerman saying Alon was surprised this race, in my honest opinion, calling them sweaty, caught him off guard. Okay, well, maybe I should clarify there. Sweaty as in the physical state, not as in just trying everything they have within the book there. Look, you can start to see a little glare off the faces of Yuval, who unfortunately, he's looking for a little bit better starts here, and there's some side-by-side. Rancisoni has made his way up to P3. I know that may have sounded a little bit bad in retrospect there, Matt Fay, but okay, anyways, getting back to our 3,000 looks at some replays here. This is Omri Farag, the 997 on lap 1. He runs just a little bit wide here, and I think there's going to be contact with Sing Sing. Oh, it's going to be contact of his own. Taking, that was Ido Bowski there with him. Omri trying to get his LMP3 back and fire the right direction here. Here's another incident with Omri here once again. Oh, that was a little bit late to it there, but just I think that was the same one there, matter of fact. And here's Tomer Ventura's incident as he makes his way up, and this was once again a lap 1 incident. Tires possibly not up to operating temps and pressures. Here we go up the hill, and Tomer is just going to send him around. Back and on board here for the battle of the race lead, looking at okay, 1 second there, apologies for that. There we go, this is back on live. Tal Stern is continuing to lead Mark Zubrev, but for how long? And remember what I just mentioned 1-2 laps ago. If Mark Zubrev and Tal Stern start to get in a little bit of battles of their own, guys, it's already too late. Guess who's already there? It's going to be Rancisoni, the driver with so much speed and pace this whole season. That IIL number 43, up 6 spots since the drop of the green flag. He is there, and matter of fact, looking for the spot under our PPG bridge here at Mid-Ohio, as he is now Alan Gabay right there beside him, and behind him, that is Matt V. Meerman's pick to come away with a little bit of a surprise win this race. Alan Gabay showing up our biggest mover right now, 8 spots since the drop of the green flag. Here we go once again into turns 1 and 2, that very important keyhole section, downhill hairpin. Here we go, Tal Stern continuing to lead, Mark Zubrev, Rancisoni, Alan Gabay, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Yossi Gabay and Iran Zalitsky is going to be right there with them for 5th and 6th. What do you watch here? There's so much battling up air out on track. That's just under half a second separating our league owner and Mark Zubarev. 6 minutes down within our second race here to go. Our final race of the season, as well as in Gold Series, side by side, starting to present itself between Alan Gabay. Alan takes the spot away from Rantasoni. What a move for the number 15. Alan Gabay finds himself up 9 spots since the drop of the green. Matt Vey, what do you know that we don't know here? Oh, there's Tal Stern. He's going to run a little wide as we now hop on board with. He's going to have to play the offensive line, not having the, well, actually, I take that back. Tal Stern did have the optimal racing line there into turns 12, but now through 13 has to take the defensive route. That's going to be Alan Gabay up to P2. None other than Mark Zubarev up to the lead in our feature race here in Gold Series. Just about 13 minutes to go left in the race. Here's Tal Stern, unfortunately dropping back to P4 as he has a hornet's nest start to swarm him for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th right there behind Yossi Gabay. Now hard into the braking zone. That is our hairpin of turn 2, the keyhole. Back into our back straightaway. These drivers able to stretch their legs here just a little bit to get these LMP3s up to speed. First, Mark Zubarev. Second, Alan Gabay up 10 spots. Third is Rantasoni up 6 spots. Unfortunately, Yuval Merrick, our Heat Race 1 winner, finds himself back to 8th right now, up 2 spots as the drop of the green. I mentioned this earlier on in that Silver Series race. Start to take a look at these lap times. Well, that's exactly what I said, and right now we're actually running slower lap times in our Gold Series because, I mean, look at the battles. You can't run over the guy right in front of you, so we have to check up here a little bit, and the dirty air just presents that much more of a hassle for these Gold Series drivers to work with. Coming out through the slower section, turns 13, 14. Here we go. This is Alan Gabay trying to look down the inside. He's not going to have the run into turns 1 and 2. Mark Zubarev still leading in that LMP3 030. Mark started P2 on the race. He's right now leading into turn 2. Here we go. Alan Gabay, Rantasoni, Yossi Gabay, Tal Stern making 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th on track. Alrighty, our little short shoot of a back straightaway that we have here at Mid-Ohio. We're going to look side by side for the race lead. It's going to be a little bit of a dive bomb down there from Mark Zubarev. Doesn't have what it takes as he took the defensive line, call that what you will. That's going to be both, though! I thought actually Alan Gabay spun with Mark Zubarev, but it's just Mark Zubarev. An unfortunate incident as he was leading laps 2, 3, and coming to 4 there. The 030 gone around. You hate that here from Mark with as much speed, as much pace as he had. I think this is going to be just a little too deep. Yeah, that's contact. I don't know how Alan Gabay cut the car underneath him, and I think that was Tal Stern, call that what you will, who got a little bit of a piece of 030. Oh, it's actually, excuse me, Rantasoni. Ah, man. Okay, well, that's, what a way to end a season for Rand here. That's, I mean, how many times have we seen this? Rand with so much speed, so much racecraft, so much pace. That car is going to come up on the air tracks. New tires coming on that LMP3 machine, as well as full of fuel. That's going to be race ender for Sassoni. Alan Gabay back out into our race lead with a 4-second gap. Remember, 4 seconds. If we're looking back at our silver heats race number 2, it's still not enough to be comfortable with it. Here, battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Man, oh man, really starting to battle and boil. Here we go, Tal Stern. Oh, Tal Stern and Arnon Levi gone around. Take a look at our Stam Studio Network replay on how this one happened between Arnon Levi and Tal Stern. Oh, that was a little bit late. We'll be backing this puppy up for you. All right, this was in our deep braking zone here, and oh, there we see a better camera view of it. Just these two drivers trying to go for the same bit of real estate, or call that Arnon Levi a little bit of a put the post-it note on that one and sent it. as we'll now go back on board with our race leader, Alan Gabay. Got Yossi Gabay. I don't think there's any correlation right there, as there's one extra B in Alan's last name, but he is continuing to lead. Here's Yossi Gabay and Yuval Merrick starting to fight for second and third. Yuval made his way up and through the pack after an incident there on lap 1 for Mr. Merrick. He's trying to make the outside line work for against Yossi Gabay. Matter of fact, gets 2 of his left side tires off the racing circuit. Luckily that the grass that is known as ice here in the iRacing universe did not send Yuval Merrick around. Here we go, side by side, door quarter. We're just about even. That's Yossi Gabay going to head in to play some defense into Thunder Valley. Here we go. Yuval Merrick, this is not the pass zone where you want to make something happen. Yuval still on the outside. Yossi giving it everything he's got to play some immaculate club level defense here. Yossi still has our final, this is our spot for P2, our final driver interview spot right now belonging to Yuval Merrick. Mark Zuckerberg is just 5 seconds behind these drivers who are running rear diffuser to front bumper. 12 minutes to go, 12 minutes down, just 8 minutes to go here in our 20-minute feature. Let me know who you have down there in YouTube land below. I'm going to treat you guys to a quick crank it up. Enjoy the sights and sounds of the racetrack. I'll be right back with you up here in the booth as we have battles ensuing all over the racetrack. Alrighty, go ahead, crank this puppy back down. Look at this battling right now. Starting to, well, not starting to ensue, but has ensued. This will be a crossover move if Yossi Gabay can get back to the outside of Yuval Merrick. But with as much speed and pace that Yuval has had this whole season, well, we're going to see that work there right now against Yossi Gabay. I can't talk enough about Yossi here, though. Showing P3, I think this has been 2, 3, 4 races, not only this season, but as well as seasons prior to this one. Yossi, he's able to take advantage of our top 10 inversion. May not qualify in heat race 1 where he wants to, but with that top 10 inversion in heat race number 2 for our Gold Series, Mr. Gabay here is able to find his pace in heat race 1, and he's able to really kind of stick it out there in heat race number 2. Right now, retaining our final driver interview spot by 5.5 seconds over the one, the only Arnon Levi. That driver number 39, shown in P4 right now, leading Mark Zuckerberg 030. Mark started on our outside line there beside our pole sitter. Mark is now shown to P5, minus 3 spots where he started. Ido Balstan is shown to P6, minus 2 spots where this driver started. And Iran Delitsky shown to P7, minus 1 spot where this LMP3 started. now joining us saying, well, okay, what are these gaps we're working with in Gold Series? Normally things are a little bit tighter. Well, I'll kind of show you a little bit of a cause and effect earlier on in the race. These incidents were only lap 1, and even heat race number 1, there weren't hardly any incidents that we could look at from Gold Series. This one's going to be just the rear end stepping out from Tomer Ventura. Unfortunate, I think he just tried to get the gas down a little bit too early there coming out of Thunder Valley. And here's the incident with Omri. I was a little bit late to it. He just decides to get it skirted across the racetrack there and just makes hard contact with that outside barrier there. This is the incident that originally sent Omri around. That yellow, black, and very vibrant white LMP3 machine here, about the middle of your screen, is just gets in a little too hot and takes. That's going to be one other driver there with him. Well, it was the red, white, and blue one when we were doing our paint scheme walk down. There you see, well, Omri Farag still involved. Who is that? That's Ito Balstan, the driver of the 50. That's why I couldn't figure out who it was, because check out where Ito is now here, guys, on track. Up to P6. He's on, well, although he is showing -2 spots where he started after that incident. It's frankly a really nice run here tonight for our championship race for Ito Balstan. Cutting back out to our race leader right now. It's going to be Alan Gabay over 8-second gap there over Yuval Merrick. See down there in the bottom scroll, vinyl stickers are available. Those of you that do some real life racing, I know that there's quite a bit of you in IIL Silver and Gold Series. I got some vinyl stickers available. They're going to, okay, I'll tell you right now, they'll only be free for about 5 more days, and then I'm going to start charging for them. But if you guys would like, I got small size, I got big size available. Stam Studio Network Racing Broadcast stickers available here. Just let me know if you'd like one. Reuven Cha-Cha leading us so much in the points in Gold Series, not able to make its way out tonight. Yuval Merrick, -48 points. Rance Sony, -84. Looks like Yuval will solidify P2 in the points here tonight. Congratulations on Cha-Cha. That was last race that we made Gold Series. That's that championship win all possible for you. I don't know if Tal's going to send out any trophies or any T-shirts for you there, but hey, that's speaking back on our vinyl stickers. That'll definitely be some a trophy in of itself. Those of you top 3 in silver and pro. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say that. Treat yourself to some free big and small stickers. Right now, though, looks like we got about 2 laps to go separating our top 2 runners in Gold Series. Alan Bay still that 7.3 second gap over Yuval Merrick. Yossi Gabay running P3, and Mark Zubarev, Arnon Levi, nice run back up and through the pack. 3 spots gained on this race, finds himself back up through P5. Up 3 spots since the start. We'll hop on Arnon Levi here as he continues to reel in Mark Zubarev. Once again, it's really a game of cat and mouse with the elevation change, the one straightaway that we have here at Mid-Ohio, and then it's back to the technical portions. Taking a look at the sector differential between Mark Zubarev and Arnon Levi here. Showing Sector 1, matter of fact, faster for Arnon. Sector 2, look at that, 0.001 seconds separating these 2 drivers. Zubarev just barely faster than Levi here. Coming to Sector 3 on the track, what is turns, I believe, 11, 12, and 13. There you see on the bottom right of your screen, our race leader, just with 5 seconds to spare. Matter of fact, gets the white flag lap shown this time by. A whole season of hard work. I'm not even going to call this one season, but I mean 3-4 seasons of hard work is all going to come down to just 13 more corners. Here's our closest battle on track. Mark Zubarev and Arnon Levi battling it all out for this P4 spots, as well as P7 and 8. Aaron Delitsky and Tomer Ventura starting to heat up. Right now, Mark Zubarev has that P4 spot, but not for how long, as that's going to be contact. That's going to be Arnon Levi sending Mark around. Arnon actually goes for a spin himself. Mark able to get his ship right at the right way, as well as Arnon Levi. There goes our battle for P4 now. What was P4, it is now P4 once again. Ido Balstan and Iran Delitsky now separated by 0.2 of a second on this white flag lap. Alan Gabe, Yuval Merrick, Yossi Gabe making up 1, 2, and 3 right now. Just a couple more chances for Ido to make a move and conquer our Iran to make a move on Ido here to conquer our move and make that final 4 spot his own. Mark Zubrev is not going to be happy right here, as he's got still Tomir right there in front of him. We are just a few moments away from the checkered flag coming out. Oh, here's a big save. Oh, Mark Zubrev hard into the outside barrier. Okay, well, things are starting to heat up here on our last lap. This is going to be Alan Gabe. Checkered flag is out for Alan, as he will conquer heat race number 2, our feature here from Mid-Ohio. Yuval Merrick will take P2. Yossi Gabe take P3. It's going to be Ido Balstan at P4. Aaron Delitsky, Arnon Levi, Tomir Ventura. Looks like Omri Farag, Rancesoni, drawer last. Mark Zubrev counting 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Tal Stern, Nadav Yaron rounding out our 12th and 13th. Drivers, if you got yourself a copy, be sure you make your way to some sort of driver interview booth. I'll be right back with you after I talk over these race results with our one and only fans here on SSN and IIL. There you see it. Feature results, our last race here in the LMP3 series. I got a tear in my eyes here, guys. It's this season has happened quite a little too fast here. Oh, it's already over. Alan Gabe, congrats on P1. Yuval Merrick, Yossi Gabe, P2 and 3. Can't go down the rest of our list without mentioning Reuven Chacha, our overall Gold Series winner in the, according to points. Congratulations, Chacha. I know you couldn't make it out here tonight, but you had what it takes. Race in, race out, season in, season out. Come away with gold. Ido Balstan, Iran Delitsky, Arnon Levi, Tomir Ventura Boulevard. Yes, Tomir Ventura Boulevard, P7. Omri Ferre, Rancesoni, drawer last, come in at 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Mark Zubrev, Tal Stern, Nadav Yaron. Alrighty, before I sign off here for the final time on SSN and IIL, let's bring in our top 3 drivers. Ran, Tal Stern, Yuval Merrick. I know, well, we're actually going to start off with Tal here. Tal, you got a copy.
Hi, good evening.
Tal, hey, well, okay, this is special to us here. You can
How
take
are
a
you?
quick word with us. Tal, how are you doing after this Gold Series race?
I'm fine. I don't want to talk about this race. I want to forget him. But I came to say thanks for you, for the broadcast, for all over the season, and to thanks the driver that came again and again to this competition. I think it's amazing. For me, at least.
Oh, man, for me too, Tal, there. That puts the biggest smile across my face. Every single driver, every single fan. Shoot, you for putting on this series, this whole season, throughout the other seasons. It's you are all what makes this possible, Tal. Is there anybody is there anybody else who you would like to thank who kind of makes not only this season, but every single race happen for you here in IIL?
Yeah. Of course, it's not myself only. It's ILAKA Esports that support us, and thank for them as well. That's it. Next season, it's gonna be some surprises for the drivers, and I hope it will be good even.
Well, Tal, I'll tell you, you're great at surprises. I remember the day that you announced LMP3 would be running this season, and there was a great cheer in the Discord. Keep up your great work, as well as great decisions there on and off the track. That's league owner Tal Stern coming in here in driver interviews.
Thank you, Sean.
Alrighty, now we will cut to our race winner here tonight from heat race number 2. Alan Gabe, you got yourself a copy.
Hey, good evening. How are you?
Alan, I'll tell you right now, man, after these two races to finish out our Gold Series, I'm doing great. That was some nice racing up and down the field. How are you doing, Alan, after coming away with heat race number 2?
I'm actually disappointed from race 1 with the mistake I had on in T1. So yeah, I'm happy, but I'm sad as well. So yeah, it hurts me a lot. But now this race was really nice. Kept pushing from the beginning, overtaking everyone lap by lap and finishing first. Can't be better. So I'm really satisfied from this race.
Well, Alan, that's really great insight that you're able to bring us here from back behind the driver wheel of these LMP3 prototype machines. We saw you work your way back up through the pack. Is there anybody who you would like to thank or kind of makes this all possible for you to race not only tonight, but the rest of the whole season?
Yeah, I said in the last race as well, and I will say it again, that I want to thank everyone, all the drivers that all the time are training and are really focused in this series, and I'm really happy for this. And I want this sport to just improve season by season in Israel. So I want to thank everyone. I want to thank Tal for making all of this season for us and making everything perfect. Also for you, for the broadcast. So I just want to thank everyone, and I really hope that next season will be much bigger and better. And yeah, thank you.
Alan, thank you. That means a lot to us here, everybody behind the scenes. And I think with the way that ILAKA has been trending, I think that definitely a driver count is going to continue to grow. Congratulations on heat race number 2 win tonight, Alan Gabay.
Thank you.
Alrighty, everybody get ready. You might want to turn your TV down a little bit. I'm gonna get a little excited here. Yuval Merek, congratulations, P2 here tonight. Also, a nice run in the Gold Series standings. You got yourself a copy.
Yeah, coffee.
Alrighty, Yuval, going to bring it home at P2 here tonight. You've shown, race in, race out, the speed, the pace of your number 25 LMP3. What was the track conditions like here tonight, being on a skinnier circuit like Mid-Ohio?
It was really slippery, especially, in the draft. The car just didn't want to do anything like you asked it to do. So, yeah, it was hard.
Yeah, especially that dirty air. If you can, try to convey to our viewers the best you can here. Sure, you got the slipstream down the back straightaway, but the dirty air across your nose there, Yuval, it's pretty tough in these LMP3 machines.
Yeah, down to the last turn, it tightens at the end, so you need to wait a lot, and the car just want to keep going straight, so you need to really fight the car to keep it going, to the right.
Yeah, goodness, the right, the left, the switchbacks here tonight. Yuval, I believe you're going to finish heat race number 2 as well as in the standings, P2 to Rio Muchacha. Throughout this whole season, Yuval, who kind of makes this all possible for you? Who would you like to shout out?
I would like to shout out my sponsor, driver.com. They're my main sponsor. They make it all possible for me to race. And you guys for broadcasting, and Tal, ILAKA behind the scenes, and yeah.
Oh, thank you, Yuval, and hey, thank you for everything that you do behind the scenes. It's fun to kind of chat with the driver here before the races. And hey, shout out real quick, MF Racing. I know that you got a little YouTube channel going on there. Every single one of you that are listening right now, be sure to hit up MF Racing for some nice little behind the scenes, some driver eye cams.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yuval. Congratulations on P2 tonight, as well as in the championship standings. Still waiting on Yossi Gabe to... Oh, that's a second. It's actually going to be third for Yossi. Real quick, while we continue to wait on Yossi, if they want to make their way into driver interviews, guess who I got with me here? Ran Sassoni. Ran, you got yourself a copy.
Yeah, I copy, man. How are you?
Oh, it's After a race like this, it's so much fun to watch. At least I couldn't imagine you behind the wheel, and an unfortunate run for you here tonight, going to come home with that P9 in heat race number 2. Where you started, that means you finished heat race number 1, P2. Ran not only tonight, but I mean, well, first walk us through tonight, but even the rest of your season in these LMP3 machines. I know you weren't too familiar or happy with the way that they drove, but now at the end of the season, does that change at all any?
Well, for the last race, I actually managed to put some time and train, and I felt fast, and I saw it on heat number 1. I managed to qualify P2, I think, and managed to keep my position and even run away a bit from Alon. And I'm actually like counting the points to see who's actually got P3 at the end of the season. In the end of the season, I still haven't quite figured it out. And after heat number 1, when Alon crashed and I finished P2, I was thinking I got good chances. But heat number 2 was just so stressful. It was just dodging people who spin right in front of you. I was almost afraid to try and make a pass or to, really stay behind somebody, because right on the hills, every time we go downhill, I just know someone's gonna spin in front of me and I might crash into him, and eventually it actually happened. So that's a shame. And it's, I was looking at it and I was kind of angry because it's kind of pointless. Like, people were defending like it's the last lap, and like it's pointless because people that you are actually racing are closing in, and you are fighting someone that you could actually, tuck in behind him and maybe run away from the guy behind you, but you're just pushing too hard and spinning right in front of other people. So it's kind of a bummer. But that's what we got, so we're gonna have to work with it.
I definitely see what you're saying there, Rand. I guess racing incidents will continue to show themselves, especially when you start the second heat down in P number 9 with that top 10 inversion. Rand, I will say though, earlier seasons as well as whatever next season has to bring, we've seen you bring the pace just about every single week, and sometimes it is a little bit of luck, sometimes it's just what happens there beside you on the racetrack. Rand, not only tonight, but throughout this whole season, who makes this all possible for you, man?
Yeah, so I want to shout out to ILAKA and Tal Stern for managing the league, of course, for all the races that are coming to train and to the races once in 2 weeks, for Griiip and DRS for sponsoring the league, and of course for STEM Studios for broadcasting. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you, Rand. That goes a lot further than you might think there. Congratulations on your top running spots here, not only in heat race 1, but also the point standings. Rand, can't wait till next season.
Yeah, see you, buddy. Thanks.
Thank you, Rand. Hey, thank you every single one of you who makes this happen down there live YouTube, or if you just happen to catch the replay of this race. Okay, I'm gonna have to end this one with a tear in my eyes here, guys. End of season 3 or 4 here. IIL ILAKA Esports and karting. My name's been Sean Stam. Whether you were watching on the IIL YouTube channel or SSN, every single thing on my heart goes out to you, because you are all what makes this possible. The drivers, the race fans, the league owners, our sponsorships, our affiliations, every single one of you. Thank you so much for sticking around with another season here on Stam Studio Network. Until next time, my name's been Sean Stam. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, subscribing on IIL Stam Studio Network. Have a great rest of your night, and catch us tomorrow night for some NASCAR action live at Michigan International Speedway. Everybody have a great rest of your night, and take care, drive home safe. We'll see you next time.